Now, since the government announced the UK lockdown back on the 23rd of March, our streets, roads and public spaces have looked very different.
For photographer Chris Gorman, it provided a unique opportunity to send up his drone and capture some extraordinary images of the nation during a pandemic. Let's have a look at some of them. Well, let's speak to Chris Gorman right now. Morning to you. And I'm just looking at some of those images. It's hard to kind of capture the stillness, but you have. How did you go about it?
Well, drone photography gives you the opportunity to see the world from a completely different angle, obviously. Everyone's seen the world from the ground, but they've rarely, unless they're in helicopters, seen it from a drone. And a drone basically gives you the opportunity to be lower than a helicopter and what have you. So I knew that I had a unique, as a photojournalist and a certified drone pilot, I knew I had the opportunity to show this incredible event from a completely different perspective than many other photographers.
We're looking at some amazing pictures now, Chris. I know you're going to talk us through some specific ones. Have we got can we show the first one that you can talk us through? I think this is of, is it a runway?
That's a runway, I believe that's Oxfordshire Bicester.
That's
I think
right,
maybe
yeah.
the one you're looking at.
Yeah.
And I basically researched these online as to where cars are stored when they're not sold. I think there you're looking at brand new cars and some used cars as well. Cars there are quite high end. And basically what I do as a photojournalist is I follow the news and obviously look out for stories where these lockdown pictures are going to fit in and the best opportunities of the day. So every day I would wake up, basically brainstorm as to what the news angle of the day was going to be. And then I go off and I had these, it's very important to have their disused runways, so droning over them, it wasn't an issue. On the day that I did that runway picture particularly, it was announced that car sales during lockdown had fallen 97%, yeah. Which was obviously incredible. So that picture was published in several newspapers the next day and actually throughout the next few weeks as well. You
got a car picture of a different kind, and this is Spaghetti Junction. This is without cars, isn't it? We'll have a look at it. Look at that.
That was actually towards the end of lockdown. Towards the end of lockdown, I did notice that things were starting to get a little bit busier on the road. And unfortunately, I couldn't get up there right. I think if I'd done it right at the beginning of lockdown, it would have been almost completely empty. But that road, as many people know, carries 210,000 cars a day. And obviously not on that day. And
we've got another one for you as well. I think this is London Bridge. I'm not sure exactly when you took this, but talk us through what we can see here.
That is the first Thursday of the lockdown. And obviously that was Clap for Carers night. So that picture was taken exactly at 8 o'clock as the entire central London came to a halt. It was very eerie, and you could hear all the flats and what have you. They had all their windows open because, as we all know, it was very warm during lockdown, and everyone was clapping. You could hear clapping everywhere, and all the boats on the river were honking their horns very loudly, and it was so. Unfortunately, the drone doesn't record sound, and if it did, I would have loved to have recorded that. But that is an unprecedented picture of the bridges and Tower Bridge, because I think you can only see 2 cars at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night in central London, and all the other bridges behind are also empty. So, you know, as anyone that's been in London knows, unfortunately, London is not the place it was tourist-wise and what have you, which is a great shame.
What's your advice to people who want to take? Because people will be inspired by your photographs, but there are rules, aren't there, around drone photography? But what's your advice to somebody who wants to start out? You basically need to get your drone certified with the CAA. You just need to pass an exam, an online exam, to get a registration, and basically registers the drone. So the CAA know who you are, and everybody has to do that. You know, even hobbyists have to do that. I'm a PFCO licensed drone user, so I'm allowed to go with various permissions. Not allowed to go anywhere. But I have permissions and landowner permissions and what have you to. I have to speak to air traffic controls in certain situations. Right.
So yeah, it's you can't just put your drone up anywhere.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming on today and sharing some amazing photography with us. I suppose all of us watching those, hopefully, we don't get to see many of those pictures in the future. Hopefully it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, isn't it?
That's it from us today. We will be back from 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching.
See you then. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.